I that please some try all, both joy and terror, of good and bad, that makes and unfolds error. Now take upon me, in the name of time, to use my wings, impute it not a crime to me, or my swift passage that I slide o'er 16 years, and leave the growth untried of that wide gap, since it is in my power to overthrow law, and in one self-born hour to plant and overwhelm custom. Let me pass the same I'm ere ancientest order was, or what is now received. I witness, too, the times that brought them in, so shall I do to the freshest things now reigning, and make stale the glistening of this present at my tail. Now seems to it, your patience this allowing, I turn my glass and give my scene such growing as you had slept between. The aunties leaving, the effects of his fond jealousy so grieving that he shuts up himself. Imagine me, gentle spectators, that I now may be in fair Bohemia. And remember well I mentioned the son of the kings, which Florizel I now name to you, and with speed so pace to speak of Perdita, now grown in grace, equal with wondering. What of her ensues? I list not prophecy, but let time's news be known when 'tis brought forth a shepherd's daughter, and what to her adheres, which follows after is the argument of time. Of this allow, if ever you have spent time worse ere now, if never, yet that time himself doth say he wishes earnestly you never may. I pray thee, good Camillo, be no more importunate. 'Tis a sickness denying thee anything, a death to grant this. It is 15 years since I saw my country, though I have for the most part been aired and abroad. I desire to lay my bones there. Besides, the penitent king my master has sent for me, to whose feelings, sorrows I might be some ally, or I o'erween to think so, which is another spur to my departure. As thou lovest me, Camillo, wipe not out the rest of thy services by leaving me now. The need I have of thee, thine own goodness hath made. Better not to have had thee than thus to want thee, thou having made me businesses which none without thee can sufficiently manage. Must either stay to execute them thyself, or take away with thee the very services thou hast done, which if I have not enough considered, as too much I cannot to be more thankful to thee, shall be my study and my profit therein the heaping friendships of that fatal country, Cecilia. Prithee speak no more, whose very naming punishes me with the remembrance of that penitent, as thou callest him, and reconciled king my brother, whose loss of his most precious queen and children are even now to be afresh lamented. Say to me, when sawest thou the prithee Florizel, my son? Kings are no less unhappy, their issue not being gracious, than they are in losing them when they have approved their virtues. Sir, it is 3 days since I saw the prince. What his happier affairs may be are to me unknown, but I have missingly noted he is of late much retired from court, and is less frequent to his princely exercises than formerly he hath appeared. I have considered so much, Camillo, and with some care so far, that I have eyes under my service which look upon his removedness, from whom I have this intelligence, that he is seldom from the house of a most homely shepherd, a man, they say, that from very nothing and beyond the imagination of his neighbours is grown into an unspeakable estate. I have heard, sir, of such a man, who hath a daughter of most rare note. The report of her is extended more than can be thought to begin from such a cottage. That's likewise part of my intelligence, but I fear the angle that plucks our son thither. Thou shalt accompany us to the place where we will, not appearing what we are, have some question with the shepherd, from whose simplicity I think it not uneasy to get the cause of my son's resort thither. Prithee, be my present partner in this business, and lay aside the thoughts of Cecilia. I willingly obey your command. My best Camillo, we must disguise ourselves. When daffodils begin to peer with high the doxy o'er the dale, why then comes in the sweet of the year, for the red blood reigns in the winter's pale. The white sheet bleaching on the hedge, with high the sweet birds, oh how they sing, doth set my pugging tooth an edge, for a quart of ale is a dish for a king. The lark that tiralira chants, with high the thrush and the jay, as summer sings for me and my aunts, where we lie tumbling in the hay. I have served Prince Florizel, and in my time wore 3 pile, but now I am out of service. But shall I go mourn for that, my dear? The pale moon shines by night, and when I wander here and there, I then do most go right. If tinkers may leave to live, and hear the sow-skin budget, then my account I well may give, and in the stocks avouch it. My traffic is sheets. When the kite builds, look to lesser linen. My father named me Autolycus, who, being as I am littered under Mercury, was likewise a snapper-up of unconsidered trifles. With dye and drab I purchased this caparison, and my revenue is the silly cheat. Gallows and knock are too powerful on the highway. Beating and hanging are terrors to me. For the life to come I sleep out the thought of it. A prize! A prize! Let me see. Every 11 weather tods, every tod yields proud an odd shilling, 1,500 shorn, what comes the world to. If the spring hold, the cock's mine. I cannot do it without counters. Let me see. Where am I to buy for our sheep shearing feast? 3 pound of sugar, 5 pound of currants, rice. What will the sister of mine do with rice? But my father hath made her mistress of the feast, and she lays it on. She hath made me 24 nosegays for the shearers. 3 man-song men all, and very good ones, but they are most of them means and bases, but one Puritan amongst them, and he sings psalms to hornpipes. I must have saffron to colour the warden pies, mace, dates, none, that's out of my note, nutmeg, 7, a race or 2 of ginger, but that I may beg, 4 pounds of prunes, and as many of raisins of the sun. Oh, that ever I was born! In the name of me. Oh, help me, help me! Pluck but off these rags, and then death, death! Alack, poor soul, thou hast need of more rags to lay on thee rather than have these off. Oh, sir, the loathsomeness of them offends me more than the stripes I have received, which are mighty ones and millions. Alas, poor man, 1,000,000 of beating may come in a great matter. I am robbed, sir, and beaten, my money and apparel ta'en from me, and these detestable things put upon me. What? By a horseman or a footman? A footman, sweet sir, a footman. Indeed, he should be a footman by the garments he has left with thee. If this be a horseman's coat, it hath seen very hot service. Lend me thy hand, I'll help thee. Come, lend me thy hand. Oh, good sir, tenderly, oh. Alas, poor soul. Oh, good sir, softly, good sir, I fear, sir, my shoulder blade is out. How now, can't stand. Softly, dear sir, good sir, softly, you had done me a charitable office. Dost lack any money? I have a little money for thee. No, good sweet sir, no, I beseech you, sir. I have a kinsman not past 3/4 of a mile hence, unto whom I was going. I shall there have money or anything I want. Offer me no money, I pray you. That kills my heart. What manner of fellow was he that robbed you? A fellow, sir, that I have known to go about with troll my dames. I knew him once a servant of the prince. I cannot tell, good sir, for which of this virtues it was, but he was certainly whipped out of the court. His vices, you would say. There's no virtue whipped out of the court. They cherish it to make it stay there, and yet it will no more but abide. Vices, I would say, sir, I know this man well. He hath been since an ape-bearer, then a process server, a bailiff. Then he compassed a motion of the prodigal son, and married a tinker's wife within a mile where my land and living lies, and having flown over many knavish professions. He settled only in rogue. Some call him Autolycus. Out upon him, prig for my life, prig. He haunts wakes, fairs, and bear baitings. Very true, sir, he. That's the rogue that put me into this apparel. Not a more cowardly rogue in all Bohemia. If you had but looked big and spit at him, he'd have run. I must confess to you, sir, I am no fighter. I am false of heart that way, and that he knew. I warned him. How do you know? How do you know? Sweet sir, much better than I was. I can stand and walk. I will even take my leave of you and pace softly towards my kinsman's. Shall I bring thee on the way? No, good face, sir. No, sweet sir. Then fare thee well. I must go buy spices for our sheep shearing. Prosper you, sweet sir. Your purse is not hot enough to purchase your spice. I'll be with you at your sheep shearing too. If I make not this cheat bring out another, and the shearers prove sheep, let me be unrolled and my name put in the book of virtue. Jog on, the footpath way, and merrily hent the stile. A merry heart goes all the day, your sad tires in a mile. These your unusual weeds to each part of you does give alive no shepherdess but Flora appearing in April's front. This your sheep shearing is as a meeting of your petty gods, and you're the queen on it. Sir, my gracious lord, to chide it to extremes it not becomes me. Oh, pardon that I named them. Your high self, the gracious mark of the land, you have obscured with a swain's wearing, and me, poor lonely maid, most goddess-like pranked up, but that our feast in every mess of folly, and the feeders digested with the custom, I should blush to see you so attired, swoon, I think, to show myself a glass. I bless the time when my good falcon made her flight across thy father's ground. Now, Jove, afford you cause. To me the difference forges dread. Your greatness hath not been used to fear. Even now I tremble to think your father by some accident should pass this way as you did. Oh, the fates, how would he like to see his work so noble, vilely bound up? What would he say? Or how should I, in these my borrowed flaunts, behold the sternness of his presence? Apprehend nothing but jollity. The gods themselves, humbling their deities to love, have taken the shapes of beasts upon them. Jupiter became a bull and bellowed, the great Neptune a ram and bleated, and the fire-robed god, golden Apollo, a poor humble swain as I seem now. Their transformations were never for a piece of beauty rarer, nor in any way so chaste, since my desires run not before mine honour nor my hiss. My lusts burn hotter than my faith. Oh, but, sir, your resolution cannot hold when 'tis opposed, as it must be, by the power of the king. One of these two must be necessities. Which then will speak, that you must change this purpose, or I my life? Thou dearest Perdita, with these false thoughts I prithee darken not the mirth of the feast, or I'll be thine, my fair, or not my father's. For I cannot be mine own, nor anything to any, if I be not thine. To this I am most constant. Though destiny say so, be merry, gentle, strange such thoughts as these with anything, that you should behold a while. Your guests are coming. Lift up your countenance, as it were the day of celebration of that nuptial which we too have sworn shall come. O Lady Fortune, stand you auspicious. See your guests approach. Address yourself to entertain them sprightly, and let's be red with mirth. Fie, daughter, when my old wife lived, upon this day she was both pantler, butler, cook, both dame and servant, welcomed all, served all, would sing her song and dance her turn now here, at upper end of the table, now in the middle, on his shoulder and his, her face afire with labour, and the things she took to quench it. She would to each one sip. You are retired, as if you were a feasted one, and not the hostess of the meeting. Pray you bid these unknown friends to his welcome, for it is a way to make us better friends, more known. Come, quench your blushes, and present yourself that which you are, mistress of the feast. Come on, bid us welcome to your sheep-shearing, as your good flock shall prosper. Sir, welcome. It is my father's will I should take on me the hostesship of the day. You're welcome, sir. Give me those flowers there, Dorcas, reverend sirs. For you there's a rosemary and rue. These keep seeming and savour all the winter long. Grace and remembrance be to you both, and welcome to our shearing. Shepherdess, a fair one are you, where you fit our ages with flowers of winter. Sir, the year growing ancient, not yet on summer's death, not on the birth of trembling winter, the fairest flowers of the season, and our carnations and streaked kilivores. Some call nature's best yards of that kind, our rustic gardens barren, and I care not to get slips of them. Wherefore, gentle maiden, do you neglect them? For I have heard it said, there's an art which in their hidenness shares with great creating nature. Say there be, yet nature is made better by no mean, But nature makes that mean, so over that art which you say adds to nature is an art, that nature makes, you see, sweet maid, we marry her gentlest sky under the wildest stock, and make conceive a bark of baser kind by bud of nobler race. This is an art which does mend nature, change it rather, but the art itself is nature. So it is. Then make your garden rich in gallivers, and do not call them bastards. I'll not put the dibble in earth to set one slip of feather. No more than were I painted, I would wish this youth should say 'twere well, and only therefore desire to breed by me. Here's flowers for you, hot lavender, mint, savoury marjoram, the marigold that goes to bed with the sun, and with him rises weeping. These are flowers of middle summer, and I think they are given to men of middle age. You're very welcome. I should leave grazing, drive your flock, and only live by gazing. Out, alas! You'd be so lean that blasts of January would blow you through and through. Now, my fairest friend, I would I had some flowers of the spring that might become your time of day, and yours, that wear upon your virgin branches yet your maiden heads growing, O Proserpina. The flowers now that affrighted that lettest fall from this wagon, daffodils that come before the swallow dares, and take the wings of March with beauty. Violets dim, put sweeter than the lids of Juno's eyes, or Cytherea's breath. Pale primroses that die unmarried, ere they can behold bright Phoebus in his strength, a malady most incident to maids. Bold oxlips and the crown imperial, lilies of all kinds, flower de luce being one. Oh, these I like to make you garlands of, and my sweet friend to strew him o'er and o'er. What, like a course? No, like a bank for love to lie and play on, not like a course. Or if not to be buried, but quick get in mine arms, come take your flowers. Methinks I play as I have seen them do, in witsome pastorals. Sure this robe of mine has changed my disposition. What you do still betters what is done. When you speak sweet, I'd have you do it ever. When you sing, we'd have you buy and sell, so give alms. Pray so, and for the ordering your affairs, to sing them too. When you do dance, I wish you a wave of the sea, that you might ever do nothing but that. Move still so, and oh, no other function. Each your doing, so singular and each particular, crowns what you are doing in the present deeds, that all your acts are queens. Oh, Doricles, your praises are too large, but that your youth and the true blood which peeps fairly through it do plainly give you out an unstained shepherd. With wisdom I might fair my Doricles, you wooed me the false way. I think you have as little skill to fear as I have purpose to put you to it. But Galma, dance, I pray, your hand, my Perdita, so turtles bear that never mean to part. I'll swear for it. This is the prettiest low-born lass that ever ran on to the greensward. Nothing she does or seems but smacks of something greater than herself, too noble for this place. He tells her something that makes her blood look out. Good sooth, she's the queen of curds and cream. Come on, strike up. Mopsa must be your mistress, Mary. Call it a man not kissing with. Now in good time. Not a word, a word. We stand upon our manners. Come, strike up. Pray, good shepherd, what fair swain is this which dances with your daughter? They call him Doricles, and boasts himself to have a worthy feeding. But I have it upon his own report, and I believe it. He looks like sooth. He says he loves my daughter. I think so too. For never gaze the moon upon the water as he'll stand and read. As for my daughter's eyes, and to be plain, I think there's not half a kiss to choose who loves another best. She dances featly. So she does anything, though I reported that should be silent. If young Doricles do light upon her, she shall bring him that which he not dreams of. Oh, master, if you did but hear the pedlar at the door, so you would never dance again after a tuba and pipe. No, the bagpipe could not move you. He sings several tunes faster than you'll tell money. He utters them as he had eaten ballads, and all men's ears grew to his top nines tunes.